All right, hello there. I wanted to give a little demo of the Alembic SF-2 bass superfilter. Basically what this unit is a pair of filters that can run in parallel with the direct signal. I think this is just an extremely flexible, powerful tone shaping tool. So we're running this in mono mode right now. You can run it in stereo mode such that each pickup or input from the bass uses its own filter. But in mono mode, you get to run both filters together in parallel, as well as blending in the direct gain. So in our mono mode, this first knob is our input gain. And I'm going to skip ahead. Here is the direct gain knob. This is what allows the dry signal of the instrument through. You can select how much of that filter is blended into the signal, and then you change the frequency at which the filter is applied, and then the damping ratio, which is sort of a cue or resonance control, which adds some extra resonance or a boost at the frequency that you have set with this knob. And then the switch here selects what type of filter. We have a low pass, band pass, and high pass filter type. When you blend these two filters together using them in different settings, you can get a ton of different tone possibilities out of a single bass, and then blending that in with the direct sound gives you even more. I'm playing a Sterling Stingray with round wound strings. This is kind of the most wide range option from what I have, which can really show off what the filter is doing. The EQ on the bass is set to flat. The volume is turned all the way up. At this current setting, I have the direct gain up, all the way up, and I don't have any of the filters up. These are all the way down. So what you're hearing is just this is basically just the direct sound of the bass. Okay, so that's how it sounds on its own. I'm going to pull that direct out all the way for now, so you can hear what's happening with the filters. I'm going to focus on this first section here. I have it set right now to low pass. I'm going to set the frequency all the way up, and we're going to hear what that sounds like. I'm bringing that gain up now. That basically sounds like the direct because we are letting all the frequencies through. If we start pulling that down, this frequency knob basically acts like a tone knob. So we've rolled off a lot of the high end with that. Now using the damping ratio, if we turn that all the way up, you can hear how extreme the resonance can be. So clearly it's a much more drastic sound with the damping ratio up. With the low pass, you can get super subby. If I set this down really low with the damping up, it's a super bassy sound. Super dubby, super fat. I love that sound. And it's a little bit much on its own, which is why we blend in two filters as well as the direct sound. So that's the sound of the low pass filter. And let's check out the band pass, which it's basically like an upside down U shape, and we choose the frequency of the center point of that U. So that sounds a bit like this when we sweep through. It's very wah-wah-esque. The damping ratio, again, changes how drastic that sound is. Basically, in bandpass mode, I think of it as how narrow the U shape that's being lit through is. So at high frequencies, with the bandpass, it's really just letting a very narrow amount of the attack through. But as you move your way down, it... Okay, and then the high pass filter is the opposite of the low pass. It just lets the high frequencies through. So if we pull the frequency all the way down, we get basically the sound of the direct. And as we move the frequency up, it'll thin out and start to remove more and more of the low end. This is letting all of the frequencies above 680 hertz through. And as you take that all the way up to 6K, it's just ever thinner and brighter. And bring the damping ratio up, that should make it resonate a little more. So those are the three filter types. And what we can do when we have two of these filters is combine, for example, a low pass with a band pass or high pass filter that gives us a combination of the fundamental low end sound as well as more of an attack or the string buzz or what have you of the second filter. Personally, I tend to use this one as my low end filter and this one as the high end, but you really do it any which way. And again, blending this in with the direct sound gives you even more flexibility. So for example, what I like to do is maybe set the low pass in at maybe somewhere really low and subby. And if we blend that in, I'll just take that out right now. Let's bring in a bandpass filter, nice and high. And let's hear that. So that's mostly string, ring, and attack. Maybe take it a little higher. Now if we blend in some of that sub, take it down even more. Now let's hear that versus the sound of the direct. So you can tell you can get a lot of really juiced up lows and highs by adding sort of these differently filtered layers together. Now sometimes you don't need to add a whole bunch of layers to your sound. Maybe you just want to add a little bit of extra low end juice to it. So You could even just have your direct gain up back to where your regular sound is, and just, for example, blend in some of this low pass just to get a little more fundamental bottom end to it. Or if you're looking to add a little more attack and fizz to the top, which you really kind of don't on a Stingray, but just for the sake of science, let's add some of this high pass to our direct. Anyway, that's basically the gist. You may note that some of these tones that I got throughout this weren't necessarily the tones that you would want to use in a proper context, but that's just me showing the capabilities of all the filtering. It really is a very sensitive device, and it takes very minor changes in settings to kind of zero in on the tone that you want, or end up with something that sounds totally crazy. It also, when you realize how much power is in the high Q low pass sound, can really shake your whole house or blow your speakers. So if you're gonna play with one of these, be very careful with your gains and your filter gain and your damping ratios, so that you don't blow anything up unintentionally. If you are trying to blow something up, please have fun. Anyway, I think that's all I've got. Thank you for watching.